Natalie asks, what are 3 books someone should read at the start of their deconstruction from evangelicalism? The first one that came to mind, the first book that came to mind, is Christian Smith's The Bible Made Impossible. This view of the Bible that is very common in what he calls biblicist circles. It really well captures the way that I was taught to read the Bible growing up as a moderate evangelical. People who believe that the Bible has been ensured by God that it does not contain serious errors, and crucially, that the Bible fits together. That if you correctly understand the Bible, then you will get a unified picture of the nature of God, our role in life, what we're supposed to do, the nature of salvation, the nature of Jesus. In other words, the Bible, which is all these different puzzle pieces, if you arrange those pieces correctly, it makes a puzzle, an actual finished puzzle with a clear picture. This is the view of a biblicist. And Smith says, here's the problem. There are 10,000 puzzles that people have made with this. So maybe the problem is not all the individual puzzle makers who can't seem to agree. Maybe it's the Bible. Maybe the Bible itself doesn't lend itself to a complete puzzle picture, that actually the Bible does not agree with itself on every point. In other words, the Bible is multivocal. And I love this argument. Ever since I read it, I was like, yep, that fits the evidence way better for me. Second, Bonnie Christian's book, A Flexible Faith. This is a super accessible read. She basically goes through, 10 or so of the most contentious questions within Christianity. And she lays out the most standard, most popular variety of answers to those questions. So, is the Bible inerrant? She talks about inerrancy, infallibility, and mere inspiration, and various ways people have taken that to mean. What does the Bible say about women in ministry? She gives the different options of complementarian, egalitarianism, maybe something in between. She talks about, I believe, the end times, different atonement theories. How do Christians understand the atonement to work? I've had Bonnie on multiple times to talk through individual chapters of A Flexible Faith. And third, since you specifically asked, Natalie, about the beginning of a deconstruction process and not later stages where many people might be looking for more of a reconstruction or a positive rebuilding of things, I would say early on, it's really worth considering the role of sexuality and purity culture in your individual upbringing. And I would say that for both men and women. And I would say probably my favorite way into that I've read is Linda K. Klein's book, Pure, which involves both her telling her own story, but also she interviewed like 30 other women from her hometown and home church community and kind of compiled those interviews into themes. And so many people have told me how much they've loved that book and that some of those stories, they've really found themselves in those stories. And I think that's a great place to start. Now, if someone else has a question for a future episode, something like, what 3 books would someone read who's attempting to re-engage their faith after a thorough deconstruction? I'll just put in a little ad. That would be a great question. That would be a fun one to answer later.